Welcome to the loneliest road in America, a nearly 400-mile stretch of Highway 50 that runs from Carson City, Nevada, all the way across the state to Great Basin National Park. Given the nickname by Life magazine in 1986, the magazine warned that there were no points of interest along the way and that it should only be traveled by those confident in their survival skills. But what we found was a unique and fun road trip full of hidden gems, wide open spaces and beautiful views, old mining towns and saloons, and tons of natural sights, like sand dunes, hot springs, and ancient fossils. Oh, and the craziest burger that we have ever seen.
Holy crap, this thing is huge.
And to kick off our time on the loneliest road in America, we're heading to Sand Mountain Recreation Area.
We've just been driving, and the landscape is very flat with some barren mountains off in the distance, and then we rounded a corner and bam! There's a giant mountain of sand, a sand mountain!
So there is a fee to visit here, which is $40 for a week, but Tuesdays and Wednesdays are free. So we made sure to come here on a Tuesday. You can also camp out here for free. They have this huge open area where you can basically just park and boondock for the night.
All right, well here's a first. We're kind of stuck in this sand a little bit. It's not super buried, but I couldn't go forward anymore. Crap. This was like my nightmare. We're moving.
All right, so we got unstuck and we found what we think is a safe spot to park in for the night. But as we were driving in this afternoon, some storms were brewing in the area, and it is so windy outside right now. At some points, you can't even see the mountains around because there is so much sand flying in the air. And getting blasted with sand doesn't really sound very fun to us right now, so I think we're gonna save exploring the sand dunes for the morning. This is Sand Mountain, a 6-story tall mountain of sand, and it is huge. As we were driving in on the highway, it looked pretty big, but as you drive closer, it just gets more massive, and honestly, I don't think the camera's doing it any justice. It looks pretty small behind me, but trust us, this thing is truly a mountain.
This sand comes from the ancient Lake Lahontan, which mostly dried up about 9,000 years ago. And one thing that makes this dune unique is that it's one of only a handful of singing dunes in the world. When wind blows over the dunes, it creates a natural sound phenomenon that can reach 105 decibels and last for several minutes.
I'm trying to listen for music. Who let the dogs out? Who.
That's one of my favorite songs. It's not that windy this morning, but I bet you if we came out here last night with a crazy wind that we had, it would have been a whole symphony going on these dunes.
Sign of a good sand dune time.
While while the Loneliest Road itself has quite a bit to see, there are also a lot of detours you can make along the way. And this morning we're detouring about an hour off Highway 50 to check out Berlin Ichthyosaur State Park.
This park is pretty unique because it combines both mining history and fossils. The name Berlin Ichthyosaur refers to the Berlin mining town that was established in the late 1800s, as well as the abundance of ichthyosaur fossils that have been found here. And the park is split up between these two different sites. Since we have been to quite a few mining towns recently, we just quickly checked out the Berlin mining portion, which has a handful of really cool old buildings like a mill, assay office, and machine shop. But the real reason we're here is to see some fossils. They have tours at 10 a.m., so we're gonna head on over to the fossil house.
Ichthyosaurs are an ancient marine reptile with a fish-like appearance and length that can reach over 50 feet, which swam in an ocean that covered central Nevada 225 million years ago. These beasts could swim 1,000 feet up to 35 miles per hour and have some of the largest eyes out of any animal, about the size of a dinner plate. The park is home to North America's most abundant collection of its fossils. In the fossil house, there are 8 to 9 of them alone, which have not been moved from how they were found or reconstructed. The ranger pointed out different bones and body parts of the ichthyosaur.
That's probably the most intact flipper. And then that's a rib bone right there. A rib bone right there. That's the animal's lower jaw right there. I promise you I'm not making this.
And we even got to touch a vertebrae.
That was a really interesting tour. We've never been to a fossil site and basically had a private tour. We were the only ones there, so we got to ask all the questions we wanted, and you learned so much from them. But before he started talking and telling us what we were looking at, just looking at the fossils, they just look like rocks. So as we were walking around here, we could have been stumbling upon all kinds of fossils and all kinds of different bones and stuff and had no idea what we were looking at.
If you don't make it for a tour, you can look in the windows, and they have some diagrams outside that will kind of tell you what you're looking at. But if you can time your visit to make it on one of the tours, you have to do it. It was just so educational, and I feel like I'm going to just look at the earth differently now.
We're back on Highway 50, and for lunch we stopped at Middlegate Station, which was established in 1860 as a Pony Express station, and today is one of Nevada's historic sagebrush saloons, and this place is full of character. It has a true small town western vibe with dollar bills all over the ceiling, and apparently this tradition started with prospectors pinning a dollar bill to the ceiling before they went out. That way, in case they failed, they could still say they have a dollar to their name.
Oh my God, holy crap. Wow. That's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Thank you. They're mostly known for their burgers, including the Middlegate Monster, which is a challenge you can take on, and if you complete it, you get a t-shirt, so we're gonna tackle it. It doesn't count if you split it, but this is like too much fun and too cute not to order. Look at this thing. It even looks like a little monster.
Nose, his tongue sticking out, your eyes. So cute.
Yeah, I was gonna try to tackle this challenge. I was looking at photos on Google. I was like, it doesn't look that big, but now that it's sitting in front of me, holy crap, this thing is huge.
It's massive.
It's apparently 1.33 pounds of beef, and then you have tons of toppings. A huge piece of 3 pieces of bread.
And they're big pieces of bread.
Yeah, they're thick, and then lots of fries too. Holy cow! I don't even know where to start on this thing.
You think you can fit your mouth around it?
No way. We're gonna have to like cut it up.
Oh.
Poor guy needs some new friends. He got knifed in the back.
Oh no.
All right, sorry, buddy.
Oh. Oh, ow, ow, ow.
So I think we're gonna try to eat the top one first. I don't know.
Oh wow.
I don't even know what to do with this thing. That's a good burger though.
Is it a tasty monster?
It's a tasty monster.
That's a juicy burger. That's good.
Well guys, we're tapping out. We did all we could. We ate all the meat. This is a lot of bread. That was a lot of fries. And congrats to anybody who could finish this. That was a lot of food. I'm full. Hurting.
We love a good quirky roadside attraction, and just up the road is something that we have never seen in all of our travels across the US. This is the shoe tree, and there are a few theories on how it came to be, but the most widely accepted story goes a little something like this.
I can't believe we've only been married for a couple days and we already hate each other. I would much rather walk home than be stuck in this car with you for another second.
Well, woman, if you'd rather walk home, you can do so without shoes. Ha 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 ha.
You gotta go back for her, man. No husband should be leaving his wife out here in the middle of nowhere.
You came back.
I'm sorry.
I love you too.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sugar. Oh, sugar.
And they lived happily ever after. And every anniversary, they supposedly would come back out to this tree and throw another pair of shoes over the branches, and eventually other people started joining in.
So this isn't the original shoe tree. Apparently that one was cut down, but there is quite a collection of shoes here. And there's some, I'm trying to find like the highest ones up there. There's some way at the top of this tree. I don't even know how they got them up there.
If I had to guess, there's probably 300 on the trees, and then probably about 500 shoes all on the ground.
We will not be adding to this collection though. We have very limited space in the van, so we have very limited shoes, so I'm gonna go grab those shoes back.
We need those back.
Yeah. Oh crap. Dun, 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 dun.
Also, we hope you loved our short little film because we had way too much fun making that.
We have made it to Austin, Nevada, which is one of the few towns along the drive, and similar to many places in this area, has a rich mining history. Plus, it's home to something a bit unexpected, a castle. Burr, 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 burr.
This castle was built by a wealthy mine developer and banker, Anson Phelps Stokes, for his wife to make Western life more comfortable, and it was actually modeled after a real tower in Rome, and it was intended to be their summer residence, but they only lived in it for 2 months before they left Austin. It has fallen into disrepair a little bit, and it's now fenced off, but it still makes for a fun quick stop, especially because the views from up here are amazing. What's crazy is on the drive, it's been very just kind of dry and barren, but as soon as we got closer to Austin, it's suddenly very, very green. I also just saw my first Mormon cricket, which are these massive, disgusting looking crickets that I guess have infested Nevada over the last couple years. I learned about them a couple months ago and I kind of forgot about it until earlier today, and I started to panic a bit because I remember a review saying how they were everywhere up here, so I was kind of scared that we were just gonna be dodging crickets the whole time. Thankfully, I've only seen one, but on our drive into town, there's this marquee that was saying crickets on roadway, be careful, very slippery, or something like that, because I had read that I guess when they get smushed by tires, they like secrete some sort of like slime, or there's some sort of slime that happens, and people were actually getting in car accidents because of the roads being too slick from the dead crickets.
Oh, they're so huge. As we're driving out of Austin, I see some of the crickets on the ground, some dead, some alive. They're big, like kind of thick black crickets. I hope we don't get any in the van. That would be the worst.
That would be my worst nightmare.
Oh,
I would never sleep again.
Yeah.
On the first trip that we ever took this van, before we even finished it, we had a cricket get into the van, a normal sized cricket, and I was freaking out. And I think it went underneath my seat and we never saw it again. So we might have a cricket in this van. Like the fossil of a cricket at this point, 'cause it's been like, what, 5 years or 5? Yeah, 5 years.
For our final stop today, we're heading to Spencer Hot Springs, and to get there, we're on this dirt road. We've got about 5.5 miles to go, but you can see the dirt road like as far as the eye can see. I've never seen a dirt road like just so straight and like so far, like all the way to the horizon, it seems like. They're so cute.
We just had a little traffic jam. There were a bunch of wild burros just running around and playing in the road. It was so cute.
Yeah, we read that there were some out here, but you know, you never know if you're gonna see them. And we got to see them.
It was awesome. So we scoped out all the hot springs and we found 3 total. The first one is a blue kiddie pool, and it was actually pretty gross and dirty, but someone's currently emptying it so they could scrub it out and then refill it, which is super nice of them. The second one is called Platform Hot Springs because it has a wooden platform. And then the third one has the best view in our opinion, and it has this kind of like a pond around it with a bunch of goldfish swimming in it, which is so random, but it looks like it has seen better days and the tub isn't filled with water. So in our opinion, the Platform Hot Spring is the best one. So we're actually camping out here for free tonight, pretty close to the platform one, and then our plan is to soak in the morning.
We've got some very fun and cute neighbors tonight.
Too bad they're not horses because we could call them neighbors.
Yeah.
But I guess since they're burros, we can call them neighboros.
Neighboros. We ended up coming down to the kiddie pool one because there was someone in the platform one. But the problem with this one is it's not that warm. The person that was out here yesterday cleaning it filled it up with water, but it's just kind of just lukewarm. So what I think you do is you move this pipe over with the steaming hot water, and that'll warm it up as you go. And then when you're done, you take it back out.
It definitely feels like warm bath water. But if you put your hand closer to the water source, it feels a little bit better. It's not bad though, because it's not that cold out this morning, so we don't need it to be piping hot. Technically, it is piping hot because it is coming out of a pipe.
But man, you can't beat this view. You have this long flat valley and mountains just kind of framing it in the background, and then the sunlight coming up right now. Man, it's just like soft and golden.
Everything's glowing,
Yeah.
and pink and purple and yellow.
Yeah, it's prime right now. Before we head back to Highway 50, we're going to continue a little further south because we hear there's a cave down here with some pretty awesome pictographs.
This is the Toquima Cave, which was used by the Western Shoshone thousands of years ago as a rock shelter, storage of many cultural artifacts, and gathering place. They left behind more than 300 pictographs, images drawn or painted on rock. And due to the orientation of the cave, plus the gate, they have been able to remain protected from the elements, making them some of the best preserved pictographs in North America.
Dang, they're probably the best ones we've ever seen. Normally, when we come up to them, you really have to, oh yeah, I can see there was something there one day. These look like they were done yesterday. They are very distinct, and you can definitely tell what's going on.
Yeah, like that's so vibrant up there.
Yeah,
The ones on the darker are so vibrant. One quick tip if you decide to come here, make sure to park at the campground, not the spot that Google Maps says the caves are, because from there, we hear it's a pretty steep climb, but from the campground, it's a pretty quick and easy walk. Today is our longest stretch of driving on the Loneliest Road. I think we're doing about half the drive today alone, so we're making a quick stop in the small town of Eureka. We just grabbed some delicious coffees from a local spot called Eureka Depot, and we're gonna stretch our legs a little bit and wander around town. And I have to say, I think this is the cutest town that we've been to so far on this road trip. There's so many old buildings and lots of murals. We just had the most unexpected and awesome moment here in Eureka. We went into this store called Afterlife Antiques and Oddities, which is a really neat store selling antiques, just little knickknacks, like really cool old items, tons of fun things to see in there alone. But then the owner, Kristan, asked us if we wanted to see something extra special in the back. So we followed her down a dark hallway, which, you know, isn't maybe always, it's kind of how horror movies start, but she was very, very nice, so we trusted her.
We were like, wait, where are we going?
But it led to?
So we walk back there, and we're in this like brick like looking basement looking area, and then she goes on to tell us that there used to be 2 miles of tunnels underneath the town here, connecting over 100 bars and breweries. Like back in the 1800s, early 1900s, it was just so cool down there. They're like trying to redo it a little bit, just like brick down there and like all kinds of rooms.
Ceilings. There was a track, like a rail car track that would go through it. It was just,
I was mind blown.
Yeah, we were mind blown. We were asking a million questions.
Yeah.
It was just unexpected. We had no idea that there were tunnels underneath this town, and then to get to go see it and see the work that they've kind of done to redo it, and then also see the parts that are still kind of old. Yeah. It was just so amazing.
I was just like, where are we going? What is back here? And then she tells us all this. It's like,
the history.
Yeah, the history behind it. Man, it's so interesting.
So huge thank you to Kristan for showing us. She did say that you can contact her in advance to get a tour of the tunnels. So we'll put the information below. But even if you don't want to see the tunnels or you can't see the tunnels, definitely go check out her store.
Yeah.
They said this is the friendliest town on the loneliest highway, and so far that is proving to be true.
Yeah,
such a good experience here.
We really liked the sign outside the store. It said, "We're selling dead people's things," or something like that. It was really funny.
That's what got us into the store to begin with.
So we've been on the loneliest road in America for a little over 48 hours now, and you may be wondering, does it feel lonely? And I honestly kind of think it does. There's times on the drive where, you know, you don't see anything around you except just wide open, vast spaces, just flat land, and then mountains way off in the distance. You don't see any cars, any people, any signs of civilization, any structures. And a lot of times at some of the attractions we've been to, sometimes we're either the only people there or maybe one other person. So I kind of see the lonely angle for this road. It kind of feels a little lonely out here.
Just stopped in Ely, Nevada, which is probably the largest town along this route. You can find a bunch of hotels, restaurants, casinos, murals, and a train museum, which even offers train rides. However, our main goal here was to go grocery shopping since it's our last grocery option for about a week. But we're all stocked up on food and back on the road, and we have one final stop to squeeze in on this road trip, Ward Charcoal Ovens State Historic Park.
The Ward charcoal ovens are a group of 6 beehive-shaped charcoal ovens used to produce charcoal for the region's mining smelters from 1876 through 1879. Their shape allowed them to more efficiently burn pinyon pine and juniper into charcoal by allowing heat to reflect back into the center of the oven. Each oven could hold 35 cords of wood and produce 1,750 bushels of charcoal at a time. Once mining ended, the ovens were used to shelter travelers, and it is said that they were also used as a hideout for stagecoach bandits.
We have always wanted to check out some of these charcoal ovens, and this is so cool. Literally, ironically, even though it's an oven, the outside of the oven feels like an oven with the sun beating on you, and when you come in here into the shade, oh, it feels so nice in here.
The acoustics in here are so wild.
I hear myself so loudly in my head.
The sound just like goes off in every direction and bounces off the wall and then just like goes around and just, it feels like it like throws the sound right back to you. It's like you can almost like feel it like pushing on your ears.
It's like vibrating in my head and my throat almost.
It is so different. Never experienced this feeling from sound like this. Is wild. All right, it's time to finish the loneliest road in America.
One of the things that we have learned over the years is that some of the places we enjoy the most are the ones a bit more off the beaten path, with way less people and with sites that you may have never heard of. It just feels more like exploring when you don't really know what to expect, giving you the chance to be pleasantly surprised again and again. And after spending a couple weeks near busy Lake Tahoe, this road trip was a great change of pace. It gave us the chance to discover an area that we may not have visited or might have just drove right through without realizing the many interesting things to see along the way. And it brought us back to the reason we love our van the most, for its ability to take us to places that are often overlooked. But after almost 400 miles on the loneliest road in America, we have just about made it to its endpoint and our final stop on this year's adventures on the road, Great Basin National Park. An underrated park home to alpine lakes, ancient trees, pitch black skies, stunning mountains, and a cave. And further proof that the loneliest road is full of surprises.
You'd rather walk home, you can do without shoes.
I couldn't. I felt like the SNL cast when they like break character. A goatee. It's electrical tape. I think I look pretty good with the goatee. Should I grow one? The bar dog's licking my leg. I've decided to shave. It's very unfortunate, but. Actually hurt more than I thought. Oh, Kelly Clarkson! Hi everyone, this is my favorite toy, Bluey. My grandma and grandpa gave it to me. You love Bluey? You wanna see Bluey? Go on now. Oh. Sing a song.
I'm blue, da-ba-dee-da-ba-da. Why is my voice cracking so bad?
Puberty hits you hard at 36.
Blue, yeah. Sleep with one eye open. In my hands.
I hope it's that you hear yourself in here, but no one out there can hear you.
Yeah, right. Hopefully it's not like a speaker out there.
Everyone's like rocking
There's
out.
a big group out there that's probably.
They're all like,
Yeah, they're all rocking out there now.